Hey, welcome back, everybody. I'm playing a 15 plus 10 game here on Lead Chess against a 2095, and he is playing the Jobava London with white, which is an opening that I've dabbled in with white, and I ended up deciding that it isn't very good, so probably I'll lose this game. So I'm going to try to remember what frustrates me when I have white, Jobava London. And the main answer is if this bishop can pin the knight, that's often annoying. But first things first, we don't really want to let white play e4, I think. So let's get this knight to f6 and prevent that. And then he will play bishop f4. And then now we can play e6 and get ready to create this pin, which is actually quite irritating for white. I mean, the downside of the Jobava is usually in d4 openings, this pawn wants to come to c4. So when the knight goes to c3, it's not really very harmonious with the d4 opening, which isn't a problem if white is playing knight b5 at some point and going after the f7 pawn. So if we can just pin that knight and keep it on c3, that's often going to be irritating. I think I'm supposed to go ahead and take this even, because with this move, what white wants to do is play knight g to e2, and then it's sort of okay. So I think I want to actually go ahead and capture, which seems kind of strange, but it forces white to recapture with the pawn and have this sort of bad structure. I am trying to just remember if there's any reason to not do that right away. I'm thinking about taking and then playing c5 even, and just claiming that the white pawn structure is beyond repair. If I can get c4 in, then, the queen side's very cramped. And if he takes, then it's just sort of shattered. So yeah, I think I am going to go ahead and take and go that route. Oh, I need to change my audio here. There we go. Okay, so I think c5. I mean, the main thing to think about, I guess, would be like, is this check annoying? But I think I'm pretty happy to trade light square bishops. So, yeah, let's just go for it. And if I can get c4, even though this bishop is, ostensibly this would be white's good bishop because a lot of the pawns are on dark squares. But if I can get my pawn to c4, like, what is this bishop really doing? Are we going back to e2? And what are we accomplishing from there? If he captures... I think maybe just castle. Maybe I need to be slightly more aggressive with, like, queen a5. It didn't super occur to me that when he captures, like, bishop d6 is possible and would be fairly annoying. So I think I might actually just want to play queen a5 and create this threat that he'll need to respond to. And then if he responds to that, then I could capture on c5. It could be the case that this c5 move was a little premature. Like, maybe I should have castled and sort of completed development before doing that. Because what I was thinking was, like, okay, if he takes and I castle, I could play knight e8 to try... Okay, he didn't even... Okay, so... Yeah, I mean, I think c4... And yeah, this bishop is just a really sad piece. I guess queen a5 could still be a thing. It does ask some interesting questions. Maybe white would just castle. So queen a5 castles. Maybe then I play c4, the bishop moves, and then I could grab here. I mean, I'm behind in development, but the position's so closed that maybe it's not a big deal, and I am up a pawn. And the c4 pawn's pretty imposing. I mean, now that the knight's on f3, he can also just block with knight d2, so like queen a5. If he grabs this, check, knight e2, then I could take here. I mean, that's a little less convincing, but I am still up a pawn there. Just with sort of suspicious development. But my queen looks hard to assail on c5. And I don't think white's getting any huge initiative. So yeah, I kind of like it. And queen a5, it also makes it maybe difficult for this rook to get going, because, you know, he probably doesn't want to drop a2 and leave me with a passed a-pawn. Okay, so it feels suspicious, but I'm going to trust my calculation here and say that this is a good move. Yeah, I went through a phase with the Jobava where I really enjoyed playing it. And then it got to the point where like for every one game that was really fun and I got a big attack, like it seemed like there were 2 or 3 where I just got horrible positions. I mean, it's risky for me to be talking bad about it like during the game because probably he'll just like end up crushing me. Okay, so my plan here was c4 and then take on c3. Like c4, bishop e2 just seems very... White just seems very, you know, blocked and hard to do stuff. And, you know, I'll be up a pawn. It's not nothing. Maybe I don't even need to take right away. Like, what is he really going to do to defend that pawn? I mean, also making the bishop move is getting my knight here, you know, putting even more pressure. So, like, what's the point of even grabbing? I think I could just play knight here right away. Or, I mean, you know, these guys probably would like to play chess too. I could castle. It's just tough. It's tough to find a tempting looking plan for white. Like, the one thing he has, I guess, is access to e5. He probably will want to do that. He probably will want to put the knight here. Then the bishop can see a little more, I mean... So, I mean, if I play knight e4 right now, that will make it very likely that I'm going to I'm going to eliminate his bishop pair. Like, I'm going to take here, and then I could... I mean, he could go to some links. Like, he can move his queen. I guess even that doesn't help. Like, here, yeah, I mean, I will get the bishop pair back if I want it. It just feels wrong to move a piece a second time when all of this hasn't happened yet. On the other hand, I don't know why white would have any compensation for the pawn, you know, if I can pull this off. So, okay, fine. Again, I'm going to play a move that sort of feels like it's violating some principles, but I'm just trusting my evaluation that this is gonna be good. And I mean, one downside of taking on c3 with the queen is that I don't have the pressure on a2 anymore. Also, if I take with the knight, there shouldn't be any fear of queen e1. Yeah, that makes sense. Shouldn't be any fear of queen e1 because I take here with check. His counterplay could come in the form of queen h5. So maybe I want to challenge the knight. But, I mean, I think we should cash in first. Like, cash in, eliminate this bishop, then go knight here. I mean, this is probably fine too, but yeah, okay, let's do some of that stuff. So if white is going to have compensation for the pawn, it's going to be in the form of accelerated development. Yeah, I don't think we want to play around and let this pin linger. So knight c6 or knight d7, which is better? That is the question at this point. I mean, I am a little worried about some pressure on b7. So if I play knight c6 and he takes, then I don't have to worry about that. But this bishop looks really horrible. On the other hand, like, bishop a6 could be a thing, but I don't expect this queen. I think this queen's coming to h5. You know, if nothing is done. And he's going to try a kingside attack. It is interesting, from c6, my knight could go to d8 and defend f7. It feels kind of stupid, but, you know, it is legal. That's all I'm saying. Probably I would be happy to just trade the knight off. Okay, so if the knight is going to get... if I'm going to take the knight either way, I think I prefer this, because I think I prefer taking with the b-pawn rather than taking with the bishop. Even though this is, like, developing the bishop, it's not clear to me that the bishop's even that much better on d7 than c8. I guess it is a little. But I wouldn't mind the idea of promoting my b-pawn to a c-pawn, getting the c5 break at some point, bishop a6 immediately possible. Okay, so there are things which must be calculated here. So if I castle, bishop h6 will happen. So we're not castling our way out of this one, it seems. If I take, I assume he will take here. I could throw in like knight f3, but that doesn't really solve my issue. G6 is the kind of move you really don't want to make. Although if I play G6, am I threatening F6 at that point? It's hard to say threat, but what I'd love to do is make this knight move and open this up. It's scary. I'm not gonna lie. There's also rook g8. Not a fun move to play. Like, rook g8, queen h5 is forking these pawns. Again, if I take, he probably takes here. I think I'm just gonna have to hold my nose and play g6, which I'm not happy about. Ugh, man. Okay, I'm running out of time. Let's just do it. Obviously, the long-term consequences of this could be very dire, because these squares are so weak. I have no dark square bishop, and he does. So it's definitely feeling like he could have compensation for a pawn. I didn't see queen g4. I only was looking at queen h5. I don't think there's any sacrifices that can work because this bishop is defending here. Probably he'll play bishop h6. Then I need to think about f6. Oh. A different idea entirely. Well, that move's saying, if you move this bishop, I'm taking this pawn. I believe that's what he's telling me. I could try to maneuver to f5 with the knight. That would protect some dark squares at least. I'm not haven't completely ruled out f6. It just, you know, doesn't feel so great. I think I need to play it, though. I'm not sure, but I'm running low on time. I was noticing if he could maneuver his queen to f6, that might be really annoying. So I'm gonna try to organize some defense. King f7. I'm worried about this bishop coming to this diagonal, but I don't think I can do anything about it. Looks like a safe pre-move. Okay, and I gotta play really fast, too. Oh. This exists. This also exists. This is probably better. I mean, he's still gonna get play, like queen somewhere. Maybe I take with a pawn. Queen here, I guess, hits both of these pawns. That's tough. His queen's getting so active. Maybe queen h4 takes, queen f6, and then queen d8. And just say, please leave, because you are really annoying me. Actually, does that trade queens by force? I believe the answer is yes. And I like trading queens by force when I'm ahead of piece. So let's hope that I calculated correctly. Queen there. Okay, here, but then here would be annoying. What about king f8? Check. That would be really annoying. I'm in need of some solutions. He's going here. I'm not sure. If he takes here, I was thinking king e7. Try to get king e7. There could be some deflection. Okay, 2 pieces for a rook. I mean, very challenging now. If here, yeah, I was also kind of thinking here, but there's check. Yeah, so that doesn't work. So here, okay, he did that. Maybe here. Ugh. Okay, let's go here. I really don't want to see this. I could still see, like, it could still happen. Like, check here, check, and then I think I have to just take it. If he gives me any moment, queen d8 is definitely a move I want to play. I think I have no choice but to allow this. Could take here. I'm not even sure if I want the queen trade. Like, this guy's a little scary in an ending. I can get like a6, b5, b4. I mean, you know, now we're talking. Also, a6, b5, rook a7. Kind of funny. So what's his move here? a4? I don't think I'm in a hurry to trade queens. I think somehow my king is safe at the moment. So I think I want to just get these guys into the picture. Admittedly, this bishop especially, I don't know what its purpose in life will be. I think a4 is probably the move for him. Hard to argue with h4 also, but... I mean, this queen could go to h8. Still hold this. Okay, that move is not as scary as some of the others that I had imagined happening to me. Okay, I might end up playing b6 instead of b5, because b5, like a4 could hit. I no longer have b4 with c3 in there, but a6, b6, rook a7, I think could be something. And actually, I could dream up an attack, like queen over to one of these, you know, try to double up on one of these files. Actually, maybe rook a7 is my next move. And then b5 is threatened with tempo. I don't know that that's a huge improvement. Luckily, his rooks are just very passive. Like, as long as his rooks don't... Yeah, he's going to double them. Here's sort of interesting. Asking questions about that. Okay, let's do this after all. Changing my mind. Maybe queen a5 next if he doesn't keep pressure here. He probably will. But maybe still. I need to not lose that though. like takes and check. I guess I can block with the knight. You could play queen c2, but then, you know, he's getting sort of passive. Okay, he takes. Okay, I think I've got to just trust at this point that something's going to work out. I mean, I guess I could even block with the rook and let him take, and I'm still on his rook, so... Queen check... Okay, he goes there. Wait, why not here? He can still check me, but... It's hard to figure out. There's quite a lot going on, to say the least. Not sure. Let's keep the king safe. I mean, this is still annoying. He's gonna have to double his rooks. Probably rook b1. And then at some point, I can get these pawns going. My king looks really safe now. I think here. He's got a back rank issue, so he can't just win out here. And I'm playing b4 next. Just get the kids going. Yeah, he's got a pawn too. He's not wrong about that. Okay, don't flag. Exciting game. I want to go like here. Here, something. Okay, he calculated something. Shoot, he's gonna take. Oh, no, he's not. Kidding. I think he could have taken and promoted this. But I didn't have time. I could also sack. That's possible. I get 3 pawns. Take, block, take. He can take this. Unfortunately. Hopefully he doesn't realize that, but he's got a lot of time to realize it. But my bishop was hanging. What was I supposed to do? Yeah, darn. Okay. It's sort of desperation time. Oh wait, he is here. That's probably annoying. Maybe not. Check here. That looks annoying, though. That looks like mate. Maybe worse than mate. I'm definitely dead. There's no question about that. So I think the takeaway from this game is, yeah, you got into time trouble again. What are you doing? Why do you keep getting into time trouble? He could just, like, I don't know, he doesn't really... I don't have, like, a threat. This didn't hurt nobody. Yeah, I mean, it's super, super dead. My only hope is some perpetual. Which could basically only happen if he takes the knight, I think. So, like, check here. Even if he leaves the back rank, like, check here. I don't know, maybe I can dream up something there, but I think he should just check and go here. I don't see anything. But I'll give him a chance to, you know, make some mistake if he feels like it. I mean, it would be, I mean, I made mistakes. Why shouldn't he? Be a pal. I know firsthand what time trouble can do to a person, and he's, you know, he's getting close. He's flirting with it. Yeah, that move looks good. Yeah, it's just like mate everywhere. I don't know. I don't know where's better, but just inventing random squares to go to. I mean, I guess I shouldn't let him take this with check, but my knight actually serving some purpose where it's hanging. Yeah, that's true. Okay, I think I can't dream anymore. So, good game. I had to have been doing really well at some point. Let's see what the computer has to say. I really don't have a sense of where it could have gone wrong. I'm going to do the learn from your mistakes feature that they have. Black was better most of the game, but it was very back and forth. I guess let's quickly spin through the opening and then I'll learn from my mistakes. So, yeah, I think this is the best way to play against the Jobava. Yeah, and actually, the most common move is knight b5 right now, which doesn't allow this. Yeah, so bishop b4. Oh, they like to play c5 here, not take right away. I just thought like maybe I don't want to let him do this, but I mean, I guess c5 first, and then if he takes, I throw in this. Is that maybe the point? Let's see. Nope. You can do it, but usually they're playing knight bd7. Okay, fair. That looks reasonable. I mean, what I did ended up getting me an advantage, so it's not too bad. It says he should just take this. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him for not. It looks sort of bad. So, and then it's not a big fan of queen a5. What did it want here? c4. Okay, fair. Queen a5 is the second best move. Okay, now let's just learn from my mistakes. So here, it says was a mistake. I thought this was like an only move. What else is a legal move here? e5. Just try to overrun him on the queen side. No, it's not impressed by that either. Maybe I should play f6. It sort of didn't occur to me. Like f6 and then do all this stuff, because the knight is going to have to go. Yeah. That didn't occur to me at all. But I wasn't, like, I was sort of aware of, like, when I take here, I just only looked at queen h5. I didn't look at, like, the general idea of he could bring the queen to the king side to try to create pressure. And if I thought about that in a more general sense, maybe I would have thought, like, you know what, maybe it's better to kick this knight away first and then do all that other stuff. And he doesn't have bishop h5 check because then he has two pieces hanging after g6. Okay, so that was a little hasty of me, I guess. And then it says this was also a mistake. I mean, now I don't think I can play f6 because f6, queen h5, g6, there's knight takes g6 with a pin on this h-pawn. So I don't know what the answer is now. Maybe for some reason this is better than knight c6. Nope. Yeah, I'm still very confused. Maybe I should just castle. Oh, castling looks so scary. Okay. And then it says queen g4, f6, no problem. Yeah. That actually makes a lot of sense. And here, I think I just had some general worry about castling. Like, I thought if I castle, he's just gonna, like, start hurling everything up the board at me, which is probably true, but it's actually safer than... I never noticed that this pawn was such a problem. That was the issue. So, okay. Yeah, I don't really care about this mistake. So this is later in the game. This is, it looks like where... Well, actually, let's just skip to the next one. So this is where... okay, I played king c6, and that flipped the game from winning for black to much better for white. Yeah, I mean, I just had, like, no time. Like, it could just be something as simple as queen d3, and then just try to, you know, get the guys going. Although maybe queen a3 is better because that keeps the defense of this pawn. And that protects the promotion square. So let's say queen a3, h6. Here, I guess the rook will go here. Yeah, so maybe this is better. Yeah, and then if he takes this, I can take, and then I just play c3, and he's not getting his rook back in time. I'm promoting with check. I think maybe it is this. Yeah. Is that the only good move? Yeah, queen d3 is the only, like, winning move. So this is just a really tough position. It says the second best move is queen takes b2. And that black has a significant advantage, minus 1.5. Yeah, proverbially, 2 pawns on the 6th rank are worth a rook. So after c3, the rook moves b3. These pawns compensate for this rook. And that means I have a rook and 2 minor pieces for this queen. But white has a lot of pawns. I mean, it's complicated. I mean, it's giving minus 1.3, but obviously the position's incredibly complicated. Okay, so maybe if I had managed my time more quickly, like, queen d3 is a move I can find, but I needed a minute or two to find it, and I didn't have it because I wasted all my time earlier. So that's the lesson. Don't waste your time. Okay, there's one more moment that we need to look at. Here it says it's equal. Oh, I should probably maybe I should just play bishop d7, but I was afraid of this pawn. I mean, my bishop's attacked. What am I supposed to do? Bring the knight back? Knight here? Defend the bishop? Maybe. Yeah. That's the only drawing move, too. Yeah, so again, I just kind of got into a circumstance where I can find these moves, but not when I have 12 seconds on my clock. I just need a little bit more time. So I wasted time earlier in the game, and that's what cost me. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, click buttons, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.